Hello everyone, Gosha here. Today I'm talking about experiencing the fear of rejection. This is good for all the highly sensitive people, all the empaths, INFJ personality type people out there who might have been experiencing a lot of that dread of rejection, that fear or even terror of making relationships or getting close with people and fearing what might happen if these people abandon you. It is important to say that highly sensitive people experience rejection, well, like all people, but more so from early childhood. This early invalidation starts so early on, and it happens only because we are so different. Our way of perceiving reality is so upside down from what most people are seeing and perceiving, it is hard for them to bear. And they start to invalidate our perception, where they should teach us to accept and embrace what is our experience. Otherwise, we start rejecting ourselves. And this is the first key to what bakes into that fear of rejection of other people when we start rejecting ourselves. That happens because when people, the closest people that should love us and should embrace us and absorb our pain and guide us into navigating this world, when they tell us that your feelings are wrong, you shouldn't feel that way in this situation, your interests are stupid or are worthless, are not practical, you shouldn't be caring about all these books or about drawing or about the dancing like you wanted to, but maybe you should do something better with your life. And these lessons that come from our original family that also are repeated all the time from culture and society that we are surrounded by. So the invalidation takes place for decades of our life that really kind of builds that sense of fear of rejection as we start early on seeing that what we feel, what we desire, what we prefer, what we experience don't matter. It doesn't matter, and therefore, if our experience doesn't matter, if our preferences and our opinions don't matter, then we don't matter. This is the wounding that creates that fear of rejection that then shows up in any relationships with other people. And it may be so strong and so terrifying that maybe you are afraid of any intimacy, maybe getting into relationships, but when it gets serious, maybe you want to withdraw, right? And afraid of abandonment, afraid of rejection, you making that first move to just quickly disappear and do the first kind of exit before that person can hurt you. Or on the other side, on the other kind of flip side of the situation, maybe you're clinging to them so much and sacrificing yourself and authenticity just to not let them reject you. And that really can become toxic as we turn into a chameleon, doing whatever we think they might expect from us and anticipating their every need and every desire just to belong to someone. All these things are part of that original wounding that creates that fear of rejection. And this is super important to understand the multi-layered nature of that fear of rejection. So trying to talk yourself out of it, or try to logically maybe convince yourself to put yourself more out there, or to try and maybe meet that person and not be afraid. Just give yourself a little bit of grace, knowing where this fear originates from. It comes from years and decades of invalidation and the relational traumas that create an imbalance, a fragmentation of our psyche and the mind-body disconnection that makes us not only out of touch with other people, but makes us out of touch with ourselves, which is the bigger problem. Now, these things are super important to understand, because even if you go to a therapist, some of these sessions might help you. But psychologists mostly focus on psyche and your cognitive functions. Don't let to the conversation so many factors that are essential in that healing that make you a human, meaning having a body, the physical experience, and having spiritual experience, having that exchange of energy, both with others, with yourself, and with the entire reality, like drawing from the collective unconscious, drawing from the symbolism, being connected to the narratives about who you might be and your perceived worth in culture. All these things, again, bake into that fear of rejection. And like I said, going to therapy might help you a lot in some ways, but they are limited in the way they look at us as a kind of superficial layer of humanity that we actually extend beyond. Because we also have that subconscious deep realms that are illogical, that are hard to access through just talk therapy, and aspects of us that are spiritual and energetic in nature, something that, well, all science already has proven, right? But the psychology is not touching, it's not really talking about, it's not really addressing. And while we have dual nature, and even highly sensitive people actually live more in that intangible reality of abstracts, ideas, stories, emotions, feelings, inspiration, and all that stuff that is intangible. We live in that intangible realm of energy, of spirituality, even if you are not spiritual. And if that resonates, know that this episode is the first of a series of few episodes that are leading up to a free session that I will be offering to all my newsletter subscribers, which I'm super excited about, where I go deeper into how to heal these wounds of fear of rejection, low self-worth, and all these things that are required to heal these relational dynamics. So all that will be shared in far more depth in my free call. And to get a link and more details about, definitely sign up to my newsletter that you can sign up from the link in the description of this episode. And in the upcoming episode, I will be talking more, building more on what I was just talking about today. So in the next episode, I'm diving into that low self-worth that is being created through those early woundings and that emerging fear of rejection. So if you are interested in this, definitely subscribe to this channel, like or comment or ask me any questions so I can include them in what I'm talking about, and then build into the session so you can learn deeper and learn more on your personal examples if you're willing to share and ask. Now, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm really looking forward to the free event, and I hope to see you there.